The ability to have in-depth understanding of banking and the financial sector has given a shot in the arm for the Ministry of Finance to implement various initiatives, including the 6-month blanket moratorium for the rakyat's benefit. The Finance Minister, Tengku Seri Zafrul Abdul Aziz, said despite the initial backbite during the early days of his appointment, when people said he would care more for the finance sector due to his position as a former banker, what has happened is the other way around.
I was a banker for most of my career, right? And of course, my fellow bankers are still in banking. But what's important is the focus to help other fellow Malaysians. So my understanding, of banks, together with my ex-colleagues in banking, we wanted to make sure that what the initiatives that banks have done so far will benefit the people. So I think actually it works the other way around, right? So through my experience in banking, I'm able to then communicate better with some of my ex-colleagues in banking to ensure that we have the best initiative given the difficult challenges faced by Malaysians.
When asked on the targeted approach moratorium, Tengku Zafrul said when the initiative was announced under the Prihatin Rakyat economic stimulus package, about 7.7 million people, including those who were not impacted financially by COVID-19, had taken it.
As you know, about 7.7 million Malaysians took the moratorium initially, right? Slowly now less, and we are estimating around 3 million Malaysians will then take this targeted moratorium. So I hope this will be, this will help, especially Malaysians who have lost their jobs and Malaysians who have had a pay cut.
Okay. Tengku Zafrul also stressed that if a blanket moratorium continuity is given, the banking sector would face an adverse impact, with some banks already feeling the heat.
The banks need to lend to drive and stimulate the economy. So the last 6 months, because of the moratorium, the bank's opportunity to lend was reduced by 79 billion ringgit. But having said that, this has to be balanced by the need to support rakyat and also the need to support the businesses. So that's why going forward, as announced by the Prime Minister, this needs to be more targeted.
He told Bernama this in an exclusive interview on Thursday. Yesterday, Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, when announcing the moratorium extension and targeted approach, said, while the government recognizes the economy is on a recovery path and a vast majority of Malaysians are back at work, this positive scenario does not apply to all sectors. Hence, the government made the decision to extend the moratorium for the most deserving ones after discussing with the Finance Ministry and Bank Negara Malaysia. Among others, FN Bank has said that under the 6-month blanket moratorium, the financial institution has incurred 80 million ringgit in total losses for not charging its customers for 6 months under the moratorium. Its president and group CEO, Wan Razli Abdullah Wan Ali, said 63% of its 45 billion ringgit loan book is currently inactive under the moratorium. According to Bloomberg data, FN, whose majority shareholder is the Armed Force Fund Board, has the smallest market capitalization of 3.23 billion ringgit among the 9 banks in the country. This is followed closely by Alliance Bank at 3.31 billion ringgit, Bank Islam 3.29 billion ringgit, and M Bank 8.89 billion ringgit.